All right, joined now on location by Jeff Willett, a.k.a. Skillett, West Coast Willett, in his natural environment on the East Coast this week. Caddie for Luke List at the U.S. Open at the Country Club. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you're off number 10 tomorrow, 136 with Austin Greaser and Corey Connors. How has the golf course been playing so far in the early week?
So far, it's pretty generous off the tee. Kind of surprising, U.S. Opens. Usually, when you get there, you just see nothing but tight, heavy rough. These are pretty generous fairways, more of a kind of a second shot golf course. If you do miss the fairway, I think most guys are going to be able to get to the green or somewhere around the green. I'm not saying they can control it, but I really think if it doesn't rain and they shut the water off and it firms up, then it becomes very difficult. But as of right now, it's a little bit soft and it's a little wide. And I think you can be able to shoot some scores tomorrow and maybe
Really?
Friday morning.
Okay. All right, I like that call. Have you had any funny stories or interesting interactions from your practice rounds at all?
Well, obviously this is very close to home, so I wear my Red Sox visor proudly, and I forgot about my Boston Bruins yardage book cover. So we were over on the rope line yesterday, and a bunch of people noticed my yardage book cover, and it was on. I mean, it. Luke had to get away. I apologize to him, but yeah, they started talking about, Bruce Cassidy firings and how the Bruins and how the Red Sox, and obviously I love that. It's
Yeah.
it's great to be home. So, Boston crowd is they're amazing. They're amazing. They're gonna let you know, good or bad, what's going on. That's why I love them.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you that. Like, what has the atmosphere been like so far this week? And then you guys are world famous sports fans, I guess. What do you think the atmosphere may be like come Thursday and then into the weekend?
I think it's a really cool vibe here. It's really tight. The crowd's been great so far for the most part. I mean, it's packed. It's surprisingly packed for the practice rounds. You know, I think it could go for the most part. It's going to go very well, I'm sure. But I think there's going to be some interaction between, let's say, maybe a couple of the Live Tour
Right.
guys.
Right.
I think they're going to let them know. I mean, they're not going to keep their mouths shut. That's for the most part, and I like that. I think it's fine. But Boston crowd is great, and it's too bad we don't come here more often. It stinks that we kind of left
Yeah.
that Boston tournament. It was really well received and well attended, and it's just great to have that kind of crowd. I'm obviously biased, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, there's so much history there at Brookline. I mean, you got one of the 5 founding member courses of the USGA. And Francis, we met Eddie Lowry in 1913. You got the 99 Ryder Cup. I mean, did you have any connections to the country club before this week?
The only connection I have is a friend of mine that I play golf with at home. His brother is a member here. And we've tried to play here a number of times over the years, and it's just you have to play with a member. It's actually a lot like Augusta National.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really tough to play here. I tried to get invited to a member guest here a few years ago, and I was turned down. So it's one of those very exclusive clubs,
Yeah.
very, very exclusive. I think they even denied Tom Brady, from what I've heard this
Really?
week, that they told Tom, sorry, if you want to play here, then you can't.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, I guess how much? I mean, you guys won earlier on the year. You moved up the world rankings. I mean, how much did you want to be here, Caddy, and how much did you have this circled on your calendar?
the whole major year this year was circled on my calendar in January. Obviously I want to be in Augusta, but I really like Southern Hills. I've been there before. I think it's an iconic place. I know there was some comments by a certain tour player that said it was overrated, and it might be a little overrated, but I really like Southern Hills. But with the country club at Brookline and the old course at St. Andrews, all four of these majors were hugely important. And I made it known to Luke
Hmm.
last fall that I said, listen, man, we have got to play in these majors this year. I mean, that's the bottom line. I need to be in Brookline. I want to be close to home, and I'm glad I'm here. I really am. The vibe is awesome. I think this, as the week goes on, people are going to realize how great it really is here.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more just about the piece of property. You mentioned the fairways maybe a little bit more generous, but I feel by and large, without having been there this week, that it's going to play a little bit more like a traditional U.S. Open in the sense that you're going to have a lot of that metal. You're not going to be able to just bomb it up there like Bryson did at Winged Foot.
Yeah.
And, so I guess, do you agree with that? And then what are the important things to keep in mind as you're out there navigating it with Luke?
Totally. It's not a bomb and gouge U.S. Open at all. I think it's a complete second shot golf course. I don't see where length really has much to do. I think most people can get to number 5. I think number 17, if you want to go for it, yeah, I think most guys can get in front of the green. So it's going to be more thinking because the greens are so small. They are tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
tiny, and the rough around the greens is really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's healthy. So they're gonna, like I said, I think they're giving you that option, a second shot to the green. But if you miss the green, that's where the adventure begins. I really think you have to mentally plot along this golf course. I just don't. I see, the strong iron players, second shot guys, coming through here. Obviously, I think John Rahm has a good chance to defend. Luke List actually,
Yeah,
it plays right into his hands.
absolutely.
Morikawa, uh, Shane Lowry is another one
Yeah.
that is a really good iron player. But I think the last 6 or 7 years, you've seen a lot of guys, the bombers, come through this bomb and gouge.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, it's more traditional. And I really, like I said, I love the way it's set up. There's a
Yeah.
few quirky holes where there's blind shots. I'm not a huge fan of blind shots, but there's 4 or 5 of them out here, and it is what it is. So I think it's more a thinking man's U.S. Open.
You mentioned a couple of the holes I was curious about. Number 5, I know can be a drivable hole. Is that kind of what's your strategy on that hole this week so far?
I think it's all wind related. We hit a 6 iron and a sand wedge, and that's fine.
Hmm.
In the front bunkers, the 2 front left bunkers are fine. If you're in those bunkers, you shouldn't make more than 4. It's just the fact if you hit it just a hair right of that right bunker, the right greenside bunker, there's hay over there,
Yeah.
and then behind the green there's probably a 2 pace strip of rough, and then it's hay. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're in the hay, then the adventure begins.
Yeah.
So we haven't really decided what we're gonna do. It's all gonna be kind of wind related.
Yeah.
If it's into the wind, I think driver would probably be the play, and downwind, maybe he'll want to push a 3 wood up there, but
Okay.
the 6 iron and a sand wedge is probably
Yeah.
less stress. Less
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah. For sure. And that, I mean, U.S. Open less stress is fun.
Yes.
Well then, how about the 11th? That hole looks awesome.
Yeah, I think that's going to be actually a pivotal hole for a tiny little par 3, and that's why I love short par 3s. At Marion, we had one that was 115 yards. That was really tough. I love short par 3s, and I think with the wind, it's a downhill, so that ball's in the air quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wind direction, if you miss the green to either the back right, or the right, it's no prize down there. I mean, it's going to be tough to make 4, let alone 3, and 5's in play. So I told him yesterday that I think a conservative approach here, just the middle of the green.
Yeah.
And I know you have a wedge and you're thinking birdie, 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 but I really think 4 3s and get out of there. There's other birdie holes on that golf course than 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make
You
four
maybe you make
threes
a
and get
putt.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you
Putt to-
or you hit in the middle of the green, you push it a little bit and you stuff it in there. So yeah, I mean that's exactly what the local caddies were saying. You guys are right on with both those. 2 last questions to get you out of here. I know you're clued into the hockey right now, but do you think the Celtics will win Game 6?
I think they'll beat them in Game 6. I do. I think for some reason I just saw a tired team in Game 5. They were just tired. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
mentally they've been through a lot. They seem like they love not playing two strong games in a row, and depending on them winning a Game 7. I don't particularly like that strategy, but they had a stranglehold on the series. All they had to do was
Yeah.
win that Game 4, and they didn't. So I think they're going to force a Game 7, not just as a fan. I feel like they're going to play well and force a Game 7, and then it's anybody's ball game.
Yeah, what a cool deal. I mean, they have the Open here, and then they go on and make the NBA Finals, and there's a game in town the week the tournament's. I mean, that's going to be awesome. Some fans are going to do it. There's going to be some players that probably show up to that game on
Yeah.
Thursday night, too. All right, I saw they have some beer on tap in the Caddie Shack, but they're offering Sam Adams for $11 to the fans. Is that worth it?
Um, no, I mean $11 is a lot better than the PGA at 19. So I think I said no, but I was trying to decipher between filling up my growler every night in the Caddy Shack or uh,
You bringing your
so
own growler out there?
no, they gave us growlers. They
Oh,
gave us
sick.
growlers. Yeah, so 11 is a lot better than 19. At 24
Yeah,
ouncer at Southern Hills was ridiculous,
yeah,
and they should have been called out, and they were. It's
yeah,
just I can accept going to sporting events and paying $11. I'm fine with that.
yeah.
When it gets to 20, that's where I draw the line. But yeah, the Harper's, I believe it's Harper's, the brewery's really close by, and they gave us growlers, and they offered to fill it up every night when you're done.
Nice. That's a good
Yeah.
touch. Hey, well, thanks for taking some time out, dude. You guys play well this week. Enjoy the home game. Rooting for
Thanks,
you.
John. I appreciate it. Take care.